live streaming going forward now. From now on, every race, we will continue to upload the streams to the podcast places. So please tell your friends about us. Get your family involved. Formula One is the fastest growing sport in the world. There's about 100 million people just got through watching the Austrian Grand Prix. So have all your friends and family become part of it. Welcome, Formula One fans. This is your Formula One News Hour. This is Jonathan Steele, your host. Today we are I'm in Austin, Texas, but the Formula One is in Holland. It is the Dutch Grand Prix. This is Max Verstappen's home Grand Prix. And the weather is, it looks right now to be overcast and cloudy, and they say there's a chance of rain and it's going to come and go, but we should have a pretty dry race for the entirety of this race this morning. So let's go ahead and start and thank our sponsors this morning. And of course, this week we have a new sponsor in Store One. Folks, if you have storage needs, then you need to contact Store One and talk to them about your storage needs. They've got a very interesting pricing setup, and that all three storage types are priced at the same levels, which is new to our industry. When I say our industry, of course, for those of you who don't know, I do have a job in the tech world as well. So anyway, please go ahead and give Store One a chance to fulfill your storage needs. This podcast is also being brought to you by our faithful sponsors, Thenology at thenology.com. If you need private cloud, public cloud, co-location, then Thenology is your place to get all of that from. That is thenology.com. Also, GiveSendGo. GiveSendGo, the crowdfunding entity that's been a sponsor for us from the beginning as well. You can't always help what happens to you in life, but you can go to the right place to get help, and that help is in the form of GiveSendGo. No censoring, no nothing, just help when you need it. So please give GiveSendGo a chance and log on and get help for you, your friends, or whoever may just need a little extra financial help at this time during bad times. Also during good times, you can raise money for a venture and things like that. And also Moms for Liberty. We talk a lot about the things happening in our schools today, and Moms for Liberty is out there trying to promote parents' involvement in the school boards, in the school, and the education of your children. So please go to momsforliberty.org. That is momsforliberty.org. So we are about to get going in Zandvoort here as the cars line up and get ready for the start of the formation lap, and then of course for the start of the race. So the drivers are suiting up, getting into their cars, and the grid is emptying out. And we have to note this morning that there is no Max Verstappen, no Martin Brundle. So the only things that happened overnight was the Haas car of Magnussen took on a new power plant, and so he will start from pit lane. 3 tires for today: soft, medium, and hard. We don't expect any rain, so we'll probably just be sticking with those 3 compound tires. This track is a little over 2 miles long, so it's a very fast track. And we'll go through the starting grid now. As I just said, Magnussen starting from pit lane, followed by Liam Lawson, who's filling in for Danny Ricciardo, followed by Valtteri Bottas and Yuki Tsunoda, and then Esteban Ocon and Joe Granu. I'm working, of course, from the back to the front. Nico Hülkenberg, and then, of course, the big story, Lewis Hamilton starting in 13th place. Followed, before him, then comes Pierre Gasly and Lance Stroll. Then Logan Sargent, a great day for Williams yesterday, and Charles Leclerc. And then on the next row, Oscar Piastri, a great day for McLaren yesterday. Sergio Perez, not such a good day. And then Carlos Sainz, Fernando Alonso in 5th and 6th. And then Alex Albon and George Russell on the second row. And then the first row, Lando Norris and Verstappen on poles. So not a lot of surprises there. Nice to see Alonso up there, starting in 6th position. But the big surprise, like I say, from yesterday, and of course, Lewis Hamilton is blaming everybody but himself and his strategist for really the predicament that he finds himself in, starting from 13th. We see Sergio Perez back there, a little further back. He's about 1.1 seconds behind his teammate. But Sergio, the last 2-3 weeks, has had a really interesting time, because he started way back, 5th, 6th, 8th, 9th, 15th at one place, I think, or 12th. And ends up coming in second. So he tends to do well during race day. So it's going to be interesting. But I think today, the guys that should have a good day, obviously, I don't think there's much chance that Verstappen is not going to win. But you never know. It could depend on the beginning of the race, or something could go wrong. They're showing overcast skies right now. Everybody's starting on the soft tire, with the exception of Lewis Hamilton, who is starting on the medium tire. So as we get going for the formation lap, I thought we were going to miss it there, but we may have done it. May be that the problems with ESPN are just now, we're actually watching a little bit of a recording here. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We've got us a live race, and that's all that matters right now. So as we come in and watch the formation lap, the weather, it looks like out to sea especially, of course, it could be sea spray. This track sits right on the side of the ocean. And an interesting fact, the fans cannot drive to this Grand Prix. They have to catch buses, public transportation, or as I heard earlier, not from Martin Brundle. It's really surprising. No Martin Brundle at this race. But anyway, what we heard was there's around 60,000 bicycles all lined up, parked on the beach, because, as I said, this track sits right here on the side of the ocean. But 60,000 bicycles. Here in Austin, Texas, they're trying to promote bicycles, of course, building bike lanes that nobody will ever use, because well, we've had this summer, I think we've had close to 50 days, and we got another probably all this week to go, where we're going to be in triple-digit temperatures. Can you imagine riding your bike to work on that? 10 minutes on your bike out there, and you're sweating so badly, you have to turn around and go back home and take a shower and get new clothes on. So anyway, so they had a sold-out weekend, got 305,000 spectators, which, Holland is not a large country, so that's quite amazing. If Verstappen wins today, this will be his third in a row with this track. What's interesting is that the Dutch Grand Prix doesn't really happen every weekend, or every year, not every weekend. It does miss a few years, and right here in Austin, Texas, there was discussions right up until the very end about whether or not we were going to have our race this year, and of course we are, and we're looking forward to that. As the cars come around and start filing into their grid positions. Excuse me, allergies. I'm not too bad this morning, thankfully, but as we get a close-up shot of Toto Wolff and some lady who I have no idea who it is. So anyway, we'll know if this race is going to be really interesting. Incidentally, this track, as I said, is about 2 miles long. There are 72 laps to this race. And all these races take about an hour and a half. So we should see that coming to a conclusion, unless there's a red flag for whatever reason. But we are about to go. The lights at 4, 5, and we are off. and Max Verstappen got a really good start. Lando Norris is going to drop into second place right behind him, followed by, we saw Fernando Alonso locking up the wheels there because it looked like Alex Albon or George Russell got into it. And now we're watching Alonso move into third place. That is some slick driving by Alonso. He has moved up into third place, and George Russell is in fourth. Alex Albon is in fifth, followed by the Ferrari. I believe that's Carlos Sainz, who is just trying to get past and has just got past. Is that Alex Albon he's got past? It is too. Albon, I don't know, he's not having a really good start to his race. Everybody else is. We're watching Sergio Perez come on, challenge the Ferrari there for sixth position. So right now we've got Verstappen, Norris, Alonso, Russell, and Albon in that order. Alonso is up 2 places. Oh wow, is that smoke or is that sea breeze? On the track, looks like it is sea breeze. So we have got rain falling on the track and water is pouring up from everywhere. So we're going to see a mad dash for the pits here, I'm sure, as the cars come around. It's not raining over the entire track, and sure enough, Max Verstappen is in the pits, and it's Sergio Perez that's in the pits, and they're going to take on the intermediate wet, and so that's a very interesting start to the race. That was all of a sudden not expected. Like I said at the beginning, it looked nice and sunny, and we see everybody wiggling and jiggling and trying to keep their cars on the track. But yeah, we've got a little, as we say in Texas, a little gully washer come over the track, and some parts of it are dry. I'm watching right now. They're going through a part that's dry. You see a lot of water on the camera lens, so you know there's quite a bit of rain going on. So these guys are taking it extremely easy. They're probably down, around 40, 50 miles an hour, if that, going through these turns here, because there is no traction for these cars at all. So very, very interesting start to the race. Nobody expected to see that coming. Max Verstappen currently has got a 21-second lead, because a bunch of the other cars came in and got those intermediate tires. So what is Verstappen going to do? Is he going to come into the pits and get tires, or is he going to stay out there? There's a lot of spray coming up from those cars coming down through as they come into turn, I think that's 13, no, it's turn 11 or 12, which is a long sweeping turn as they come. At 14, there's a long sweeping turn as they come in down the straightaways, and of course Verstappen is coming in for tires. It looks like Lando Norris either just got new tires or is not there. So he's battling George Russell for position, and they were wiggling all over the place. So everybody's going to have to come in. It's showing Russell, Norris, Albon, all those guys on soft tires, but they're going to have to come in. They cannot stay out on the track in those conditions on those slick tires. So somebody's going to come to a very nasty end if they keep that up. So Hamilton's on the radio. We should have come in. It's 2. He's saying we should have come in. Copy, Lewis. We're going to stay out. We're going to have to brave this. That's very interesting. So George Russell is leading. He was leading. Perez came in and got tires, and of course he's just taken the lead. So Perez has quickly gone from 6th to 1st. Where is our friend Max Verstappen? Let's see. He had a 21-second. He's in 9th position right now, but he's got tires. He's got the intermediate wet, and why people have not come in for tires, I just do not understand it one bit. So the real rookie of the and we've just seen the Ferrari can't quite make it out because of the spray, but one of the Ferraris left the track. we're watching. Whoa, Alex Albon, you need to get in and get some tires, guys. The track is too wet to stay out on the soft compound tires. And Perez has quickly opened up a 10-second lead over the rest of the field over George Russell, 11 seconds now. And of course, what's interesting is that there is a couple of places. Whoa, the Ferrari. Somebody's going to come a cropper here, and Lando Norris just came in and got tires. But you can't stay out on those tires because it's just impossible. Verstappen now making his way up through the field, especially with all those guys that did not get those intermediate tire changes. And so let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cars still on the soft tire. Of course, one of those guys is Lewis Hamilton. So all kinds of problems for Lewis Hamilton, and that they're showing a replay here of the beginning and actually there's a whole bunch of guys had to lock up because Alex Albon didn't really have a clean start, and he's as they watch the replay, and as I mentioned earlier, he slipped back to 4th very, very quickly. So anyway, it's all of a sudden we've gone from what we thought was going to be and we're just watching Lewis Hamilton touching wheels with somebody. I think it was who was it? Alex Albon. Anyway, this is a replay of the beginning of the race. So there was lots of little stuff going on between the drivers, and we're watching Alex Albon kind of struggle with his car a little bit as he lost a couple of places almost immediately. Actually, what's really interesting, we're watching the car in front of Albon, which was George Russell, and he had a really bad, tough time keeping his car on the track because the rain, like I said, started almost halfway around the track, and all of a sudden they got a gully washer, and we've got a really long pit stop there for one of the Ferraris. As we watch Yuki Tsunoda come in and get tires as well. So pretty much here by the time, these are replays that they're going through. So the race is out there, and Yuki Tsunoda is just, I don't know why he's still stuck there. That was a long, that was probably a 10, 15 second pit stop. So Fernando Alonso he got tires, I believe, but the spray coming up from the cars is making this an almost impossible race to drive right now. What's the other thing that's going to be interesting is after this rain shower passes, when are they going to go back? When are they going to go back to from the intermediate wets back to the soft tire? I would assume they'd go back to the soft because they didn't have but one lap on them, and Perez just forced one guy right off the track. So anyway, they're predicting that the rain is going to continue here for a while. And 6 laps in, we've got Perez, Joe Granu. Joe Granu, he started all the way back down there in, I think, number 18th or 17th position, and he's in 2nd. Verstappen is in 3rd now. Gasly's 4th. Leclerc 5th. So where is Norris is back in 12th. Where's George Russell? George Russell is in 16th. So, and Hamilton is in, he finally got his intermediate tires that he wanted, is down there in the same position that he started. And he's way back there. So Liam Stewart, 10-second time for speeding. Car 40, I believe that is Lawson. I don't know. But they got him for speeding in the pits, so they added 10 seconds. So that's a 10-second penalty that he's taking right there. Very interesting. So it's starting to settle down a little bit, and right now the rain has lifted as we watch Max Verstappen move up into 2nd place around Joe Granu, and he's 10 seconds behind his teammate Sergio Perez. But during practice he had 1 second. So he's So he's probably only 6, 7 laps away from moving back into first place. It's very, very interesting. So right now we've got Perez, Verstappen, Joe Granu, Gasly, and Alonso. So very different than what the race looked like it was going to be at the start. Alonso has survived those battles well, and he's up there. Gasly's come all the way back from, I think, I know he didn't make it out of qualifying one, so he was back around 15th, 16th, and he's up in fourth. Joe Granu, like I say, he's done well. He's done the best because he's come from it's 17th or 18th all the way up, and Verstappen is getting about 3 seconds a lap. Wow, on his teammate Perez. Yeah, in fact, he's gone from 10 seconds to 7.3 in that last lap. So he's absolutely flying. Let's see, do we have anybody left on soft tires? We do. We've got Albon, Piastri, Bottas, Hulkenberg, and Sargent all on soft tires and making their way through because part of the track is dry. As you come down through there, in fact, I'm looking, I think this is the spray coming up from Verstappen right now. Let's see, he's coming back down into turn 14, and you can see blue skies. So they're talking rain, but right now over the track is blue skies. Charles Leclerc is saying he's got a damaged front wing. He and his teammate are in a battle for position. So no doubt Carlos Sainz is going to pass Charles Leclerc. Actually, the two Ferraris are not having such a bad day because they're in 5th and 6th. Now, they're a long, long way behind the leaders. It's they're 15, 16 seconds. But they're in clean air. The two of them are together there by themselves, and they're going down the straightaway. The straightaway is dry, and Carlos Sainz has just moved past his teammate, obviously because his teammate's got, I'm trying to see in the front of the car what damage he has to that front wing. So the track is quickly drying out, so it's going to be interesting to see when they bring these guys back in and change out those tires, or if they're going to leave them out there for a few laps just in case an unexpected shower should pop up again. So really, really interesting stuff here for the beginning of the race. Makes it really interesting. What's interesting to me though is the guys, Sergio Perez's team, instantly, they brought him in instantly. They left Max out there for another lap, which is why he was down. But when he did that, everybody coming in, Max had a 21-second lead, which quickly went away, of course. But as he came out in 9th position, and he's back up to 2nd. And so in 3 laps, he's gone from 10-second interval to 4-second interval. So, like I said, and just looking at the track now, it is drying out very fast. Joe Granu and Pierre Gasly are battling for 3rd position. It looks like Gasly is going to win that battle. I'm watching a certain part of the track here right now, and it's still pretty wet. So let's see if Gasly is going to manage to get past Joe Granu here. I have not seen DRS enabled yet, so that's going to be interesting. So Magnussen at the end here, was he on? Has he gone back to? He had a 3-second pass. Did Magnussen go back? Where is he? I'm wondering if he went back to the soft tire. Let's see what. Yeah, he did. So you're starting to see now. So that Haas has already done it. They're going in, and so we're seeing now the cars coming in and going back to those soft tires that they started the race on. So obviously they are not expecting rain here for a little bit. Otherwise, they would drop the idea of going to the soft tires. But the track still looks pretty wet in some places. Yeah, it's dried out considerably, but in some places it still looks like it's fairly wet. And as Oscar Piastri found out yesterday, during qualifying. It only takes you to get a couple of those wheels, the left or the right side wheels, into the wet part of the track, and you lose it. So we've got the Aston Martin and the Ferrari and Joe Granu in the pits going back to the soft tire. So I don't think it's going to be very long before we see the Red Bulls in, because I don't think they'll want to suffer the undercut on those intermediate wet tires. So right now, we've got a whole bunch of guys moving into the pit lane. Piastri, they're all on soft. Joe Granu's come out on the medium. The top four cars, Alonso's in the pits. So Piastri just got the slick tire. And now they're bringing in Max Verstappen. They've just told him to box. So he's going to do that. He's going to come out probably in 10th or 11th position. We'll see how that chases. No, he's going to come out in 5th. Sorry about that. In the pits, and in he goes. On goes the soft. I believe, on goes the soft tire. Have to see what color the paint wall is on the tire. So on go the soft. So Piastri turned in a 116, I think, was that, or 112? Sorry, couldn't quite make it out there. Anyway, and Charles Leclerc is getting the front end of his car replaced. It's really amazing. They jack these cars up on that nose cone, and it doesn't look like it would be that strong, but it's got to be, because the cars are not that heavy on the front. They rely on the downforce of the aerodynamics to keep them on the road, but still, it's a few hundred pounds, and they pick that car up. And we're watching a replay of a Ferrari, and I think it looks like a Ferrari and a McLaren battling for position there. And the Ferrari, they're showing how I see what it is. They're showing how Charles Leclerc lost the nose of his car right there. And as we watch Sergio Perez now coming into the pits, and Verstappen came into the pits on soft tires, and he came out in second position. He's now got a 6-second lead on Alonso, who's going to go into second because Perez just came into the pits. So new running order at lap 13. We're going to have Verstappen, Alonso. Let's see where Perez is going to come out. Let's see. Perez is going to come out in second place. So that didn't really cost him. All it did was cost him the lead, which was inevitable anyway. So right now we've got Verstappen, Perez, Alonso, Gasly, and Carlos Sainz. Those are your top five. At the bottom end, you got Lewis Hamilton in 16th, then Liam Lawson, the rookie, and then George Russell, then Lance Stroll and Logan Sargent. Alex Albon in the other Williams is up there in 11th. Where are my where are my McLarens? This looks good. What is going on with ESPN this morning? I have no idea. Anyway, so we are on lap 16, folks, and we've got Verstappen, Perez, Alonso, Gasly, and Carlos Sainz in that order. All the way at the bottom, we've got Hamilton, Lawson, Russell, Stroll, and Sargent. And off in the distance, we can see, we got some major rain clouds off there. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. What is happening here? So Oscar Piastri is in the pits. Don't know why he came in, because he was, and we've got a Williams into the wall. It is Logan Sargent. Logan, you better be careful. You wreck way too much, buddy. And that team's not going to keep putting all this money in. You do well when you're driving, but what's happened to him here? So we're gonna have a yellow flag condition under this car that Logan Sargent has managed to put in the wall. and he's quite a mess. I'm sure we're going to get a replay here any moment of what happened. We're watching his teammates in their old style Bell helmets, what his teammates being his pit crew. But it looks like, and he's out. Fortunately, he's out of the car. He's not hurt. That's the good part. Looking a little dejected, climbing up on the wall, getting off the track, and the stewards are helping him down. Now he's fairly close to a exit point there, so we shouldn't be under safety car for too long. But we are going to be, I would say, probably 6 to 8 laps. So as we watch this go through, Andre, as I'm watching a recording now, I'm going to fast forward past this piece, but we're going to watch and see what happened. And you know what happened to Logan Sargent? That's got to be a replay from yesterday. If it isn't, it is not. So what's incredible is Logan Sargent did exactly the same thing in the race as what happened to him yesterday in qualifying. Okay, Andre, we are on lap 32. Okay, so we're on lap 32 of the 72 laps, and right now we have Verstappen, Perez, Alonso, Gasly in that order. Lewis Hamilton has moved up to 11th, so he's making his way up through the field. The McLarens are not having a great day. Lando Norris is in 9th, and Piastri's in 12th, and followed by both the Haas. And as we watch, there's radar coming and watching it. There is looks like a severe amount of rain about to happen here in a very short while. So don't be surprised if we start seeing all these cars darting into pits to get those intermediates. Right now, what's really interesting, 33 laps in, of course, they had about 10 to 12 laps on the intermediate wet, maybe a little more, but all but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the cars are still on the soft tires. So Joe Granew's on medium, Bottas is on medium, Stroll and Lawrence are on medium. So all the rest really are on the soft tires. So the paces are pretty good. Excuse me, we got Max Verstappen with the fastest lap. And it looks like the race is pretty much settled in. There are some nasty clouds out there, and they just showed a shot of the skies, and I don't know how far out, but rain is for sure on the way, folks. And that's gonna make this race even more interesting. Hopefully the cars will get through it all without having wrecks and stuff like that. The problem is when it's raining for these cars is the amount of spray that comes off those intermediate tires it's a lot. And we just saw Max Verstappen turn in another fastest time of a 1:15. So earlier when I said that that Perez had turned in I think it was 1:16, but I was correcting myself, thought maybe it was a little faster. So that would be correct. And we're watching Piastri just make an attempt here to get past Joe Granew. I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to do that. The track has dried out quite nicely now. So we've got so far Logan Sargent out again, and it's really interesting because if you'd seen a replay of him losing it yesterday during qualifying and then losing it today, exact same corner, exact same spot, exactly the same thing done wrong. I don't know. Last year the guys at Haas got rid of young Mick Schumacher, because he was really, not doing too well in the finishing, but Glenn Haas said, Gene Haas, sorry, he said it's costing me too much money to keep fixing this car. and the guys at Williams have got to start thinking about the same thing for Logan Sargent, because he wrecks the car a lot. It's not the fact that he spins out and loses it and stuff like that. It's the fact that when he does, it's costing them, a couple of $100,000 every time to fix the thing. And not to mention, of course, they don't get any points for the car, so they don't get the money that they're expecting from Formula One. Now, the Williams team is owned by a very wealthy conglomerate from the US, but still, the money still talks, and we're going to watch Oscar Piastri here get past Joe Granu down the straightaway and comes into the corner. Very nice, very safe pass there, So now who are we looking at? It's one of the Williams cars. So that's got to be Alex Albon, because the other Williams car is out. And Albon is chasing Carlos Sainz for the 5th position. Right now, he's 4 seconds behind. And Verstappen's got a 4-second lead on his teammate, who has a 4-second lead on Alonso, who has a 2-second lead on Gasly. And now we've got a shot of Logan Sargent sitting in a chair. Fortunately, he's not hurt, but he's got to be thinking to himself that he's got to do a better job of driving that car. Otherwise, he will not be in Formula One next year. There are so many good drivers just sitting out there waiting for their chance. And if these team owners think for one moment that they can get a driver that's not going to wreck the car, they don't mind. They don't mind so much that you spin out and stuff like that. It's when you're wrecking it and they're having to fix it all the time. Like Gene Haas said yesterday, it just costs me too much money to have him in that seat. And so Mick Schumacher's time in Formula One was cut short. But I'm sure that Mick will be back in time. As he ages a little bit, he's going to mature, and he's not going to take the same risks that he was before. Excuse me. So anyway, we are now at lap 36, and we are pretty much settled down right now. So we're going to probably see some replays coming here in a few moments, because what happens during the race, when it kind of gets boring, the professional commentators at Sky Sports, they go to replays, right? That's to keep it interesting for us, the viewers. Myself, I find all of the other little things that's going on right now. As an example, the Oscar Piastri. No, that can't be Piastri, but it's Lando Norris is about to put his car ahead of Yuki Tsunoda and move up into 8th place. So the McLarens are slowly moving up the field, so it's going to be interesting. So as I said, here comes the first replay, and we're watching a replay of George Russell getting past one of the Ferraris. Let's see which one it was. Let's see. It looks like that's going to be, and he did a nice job of passing him there. I'm guessing that's going to be Charles Leclerc, because, it was. Russell got past Leclerc. And so Russell's in 14th, and Hamilton's got himself up to 10th. Still not a very good day for Mercedes. Hamilton started 13th, so he has moved up 3 places. Russell started 3rd, and so he's lost. How many places has he lost? He's lost 11 places. We got Verstappen coming on the radio to tell his team something, but let's see, they're not going to show it to me. And of course, I can't hear because I don't have the volume up, because otherwise it would interfere with what I'm doing. So who have we got in the lap? We've got one of the Alfa Romeos in the pits. Joe Granu is in the pits. So Joe Granu has dropped back. He's now in 17th place. At one time, he was 2nd or 3rd. So he's dropped back considerably. But his teammates not doing any much better. Valtteri Bottas, and there's a driver that's got to be on the bubble. He's 31, 32 years old. And last year he had a good year, but this year he's just not doing well at all, although they're just showing a replay. Remember I said the replays would start coming. So we just saw a replay of Valtteri Bottas getting past Charles Leclerc. So something's got to be amiss with that Ferrari as we look on at Frederic Vasseur, the team principal who took over from Ferrari, and quite frankly is doing a worse job than the guy he replaced. At least the guy that he replaced was just his strategists were making dumb mistakes, but at least the cars were always up there in the 5th, 6th, 2nd, 3rd positions. And at one point last year, Charles Leclerc was winning, of course, as we get a shot of the inclement weather that's coming in from the North Sea and about to bury the racetrack, the Zandvoort, however they pronounce it in Dutch, not being a Dutch speaker, but I think it's Zandvoort, I'd say within the next 5 to 10 minutes, we're going to see a tremendous amount of rain hit this track. We're coming up on lap 40, so, we're 2/3 of the way through the race, and like I say, it's pretty much settled down. We are seeing some in the backfield, some good racing going on. We're not seeing, and they're not even bothering to show us the cars at the front. So now the guys that are on the soft tires, of course, and Max Verstappen is one of them, are starting to complain about the tires giving up, which, let's say they've probably got 30 laps on these tires. Let's say maybe not 30, maybe 25. So it's going to be here time in the next, if the rain doesn't force it, there's going to be time to change out these tires anyway. And we're going to watch the Liam Lawson get past the Ferrari. Is that right? He's been a very cautious fellow, but he's certainly in a position to do it. A very interesting fact about Liam Lawson: every time he's got into a new type of racing, the first race of every type, and this is, I think, his 6th or 7th type of car that he's racing, he has won that race, that very first race when he's got into a new car. It's not going to happen to him today. And when they interviewed him at the beginning of the race, and of course they said to him, your record is going to come to an end. But let's see, where he is. He's 16th, so he's running a very yeah, he had a little wiggle there, but he is going to get past that Ferrari here in any moment. He's got DRS and he's going to use it, and he's going past the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc, and some very nice driving there from the rookie driver, getting past that veteran. Although Charles is only 25, 26, but he's a veteran of Formula One. But you got to know there's something wrong with that Ferrari, where that AlphaTauri with Liam Lawson just got back, and now we've got Charles Leclerc getting back again past him because they got DRS, so that's probably going to go on for 4 or 5 laps where they're going to get one going past the other. And this is actually really good practice for the young rookie in his first Formula One race, to be able to get in there and pass a really good car normally in the Ferrari, and a really good driver in Charles Leclerc. He doesn't seem to do as well in the races, but in qualifying he's an extremely fast driver. So and they show the replay, of course, and then they'll show the replay of Leclerc taking that position back again. So this is good news for the professional commentators at Sky Sports, and I've just lost my feed again. This is really, really crazy stuff, guys. It's really crazy. Let's see if we got it back. Okay, so 48 laps to go, and we're on board with I guess it's George Russell. George Russell trying to get past Pierre Gasly here, and as we watch the rain clouds really building up. Let's see, did our friend Lawson get past Leclerc? He did. And interestingly enough, Sergio Perez just turned in the fastest lap. He has dropped back into 2nd position. behind Alonso. So he must have pitted or something because, and I'm sorry, folks, but the ESPN feed this morning has been incredibly bad. No idea what's going on. At the very beginning, I thought I was going to have to just stick with the Spanish channel because I couldn't get ESPN at all. And then during the course of the race here, it just loses it. So I have to go back to the recordings that I've made and try and figure out where we are in the race. So a really interesting challenge for me here doing a podcast when my feed is totally bizarre. I haven't experienced anything like this at all, of course, because this is actually, we're coming up on the 1 year anniversary of the Formula One News Hour, so that's a nice milestone for us. And today is going to be very challenging for our producer and all things technical guy, Andre Kuhn, because he's got to piece together now this race from all of these different pieces, and where I'm losing feed and then having to go back to a recording. Even the recordings though are losing their feed, so it's just really weird. So we're coming up on lap 50, and Verstappen, everybody is coming in, changing tires. Now, are they getting ready? Are they getting ready for this rain? That's what I'm interested to see. As we watch one of the McLarens here, it's hard to see which one go on past. Lando Norris going past. I'm going to say that's Hulkenberg in the Haas. So a very nice pass there by Lando Norris. Now we've got Oscar Piastri going past one of the Alfa Romeo cars. And I don't know if for Alfa Romeo, if it's the drivers or if it's the cars themselves. A very nice pit stop time there for Max Verstappen, 2.2 seconds. Of course, that whole team is just absolute. They nail it every time. I've seen them sometimes take half a second more. I think one race ago, it took them 3 seconds to change the wheels. But for the most part, it's just amazing what those guys are able to do consistently, time after time after time. So Verstappen's back out. He's got a 5-second lead on his teammate, who's got an 11-second lead on Carlos Sainz, who has a 2-second lead on Alonso, who is in danger of being passed by Pierre Gasly. George Russell is now moved up to 7th. Lewis Hamilton is back there in 11th, and he's 3 seconds behind Lando Norris, who is just about to overtake Esteban Ocon. So where's Piastri? Where did he go? There he is. He's in 12th position. He's 5 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton. So Hamilton's not in any danger yet of losing that position. So what's amazing to me is that we keep seeing on the cameras and these heavy rains, and who knows, maybe we'll hold off and we'll get this race completed, but it's going to be touch and go. It just depends on how fast that front is moving. But just looking on the TVs, it looks like that front is being stationary forever and a day. Of course, it won't. It can't be stationary. Well, it could be, I guess. But usually over the ocean like that, they're moving pretty quickly. But anyway, we're at lap 51. And it's moving. They're showing the radar right now, and it's moving quickly, and it's about to hit. It's about to hit the track. So, and I would say, judging by the size of it, it looks like it is going to be. It looks like it's going to be quite a downpour for a period of maybe 10 to 15 minutes, which is going to be bad. It could be. I wouldn't be surprised on this one that it gets so wet, that the spray is so bad that they maybe have to pause the race for a little bit, just red flag it till that storm gets through, because it does look like it's a pretty nasty storm. Max Verstappen's just taken back the fastest lap at 1:13.9 from the guy that had it before him. I forgot to tell you was Alonso, but anyway, it's it's not too bad. We've at 52 laps. It's a 72 lap race, and it's taking about a minute 16. So we got about 25 minutes left in this race. Woo. Assuming those clouds don't come over the track, which radar is showing that it's going to go. The center of that little storm is going to go right over the top of the track as we watch on a replay. George Russell getting past. I think that was Pierre Gasly. Very nice pass there. Let's see. And now we're watching. In fact, Alex Albon. George nearly lost it there, but Alex Albon also giving Pierre Gasly all he can handle right there, and I think it's just a matter of time before. Actually, it's not Alex Albon. Yeah, no, it's Alex Albon. It's not Pierre Gasly that he's challenging. It's Yuki Tsunoda. So Yuki Tsunoda having a really good race because he's up there in 7th place. Well, he was. He's just lost that to Alex Albon, but still, very nice race. I wonder if the track is getting damp because I'm starting to see some of these cars wiggle, and that would suggest that the track is getting damp. Because they're actually not losing it on the rear. It looks like the front is losing grip as we watch. Who is it? It's that's Yuki Tsunoda. So let's see. That's Esteban Ocon who is now challenging Yuki Tsunoda for that 8th place. And Tsunoda, the front wing got damaged. Check. Oh, that's why he's wiggling. He's asking his team if his front wing got damaged. I don't know how it got damaged. It didn't look like he touched anything. But anyway, we got Lando Norris behind both of them. So Lando Norris is going to move up into the 8th place here in just a few moments because one, he's got a much better car and better in the corners, faster in the straightaway. The McLarens have got pretty good straightaway speed. The only problem is that the 2 cars ahead of him, well, one of them's got DRS as we come up to lap 54. Verstappen coming on the radio complaining about something, I don't know. But the other interesting thing is that they went to another set of soft tires on those tire changes. So let's see, involving cars, Tsunoda 22 and Russell noted causing a collision. Oh, so I guess when Russell went past Tsunoda, he maybe cut in front of him too quickly and cost Tsunoda some front wing damage on his car. I'm sure we're going to see that now on the replay as the race is settling down again, and we are coming up on Tsunoda's team has just come back to him and said his car's fine. So. All right, so we're at lap 60 of the race, so we got 12 laps to go, and the running order hasn't changed much. We got Verstappen, Perez, Alonso, Gasly, Sainz, and it's your top 5. Your bottom 5 is Magnussen, Bottas, Lawrence, Leclerc. Leclerc is out, so his car, I didn't see that. When did that happen? I think they just probably decided last time because we saw Lawrence go past him. They must just have decided to go ahead and pull that car off the track because it just was not performing. So we're still seeing those nasty rain clouds, but maybe, just maybe, we will get to the end of the race without the rain hitting. So we got about 12 minutes to go, and then we're going to, we got Perez in the pits going. They're anticipating, guys. The Red Bull team, Sergio Perez, has gone to the intermediate tires. So they are anticipating that in the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz is coming in. Everybody's coming in. So the rain is about to hit. We are not going to get this race finished under dry conditions. The rain is going to hit. And on lap 61, everybody is going to the intermediate wet tire again. So we're going to see a lot of change-ups here based on the efficiencies of the pit lane. But right now we've still got Verstappen out there, Verstappen and Alonso out there, and Albon on medium tires. So the only guys that's changed in the top 5 actually is Perez. But now we're starting to see the raindrops in, and Verstappen is coming in. It is raining on pit road. So they've got them all coming in very, very carefully, because those cars are just not going to stop on a dime like they should. But Verstappen does a very good job of getting that in, and he's in and out. What was that? Less than 2, right at 2.2 seconds. And the rain is hit, and it is pouring. I mean, absolutely pouring as we watch Verstappen coming back out onto the track. We are seeing a lot of these cars now coming in to the pit road, and everybody's on intermediate wets. Alonso's in the pits. Alex Albon's still out there on medium, but that'll only be a matter of time. So everybody now is back out on intermediates, and the running order doesn't look like it's going to change, other than Alex Albon's got himself up into 4th place. So very, very nice pit work. No, he's just dropped back to 5th, 6th. So that's it. So we got Verstappen, Perez, Alonso, Gasly. So if this race, and I don't think these positions are going to change that much unless somebody has a really nasty day at the office. But right now, it looks like your podium is going to be Verstappen, Perez, and Alonso. So very nice work by Aston Martin to get Alonso back onto the podium. But of course, I could be speaking out of tune too soon, but he does have a 5-second lead on Gasly, and Gasly's got a 2-second lead on Carlos Sainz. And Esteban Ocon has gone to full wet. That's very interesting. So that team must be expecting just a big old gully washer. His teammate, let's see what's his team. Where's Pierre Gasly? Where's Gas? Oh, yeah, his teammate is on intermediate. But folks, it is that gully washer has arrived. This is the worst decision, guys. This is Esteban Ocon. Somebody just lost it. A yellow flag. Who is that? Sergio Perez just lost it. So he's dropped down now to 3rd. Wow. We'll get a replay of that in just a moment. But yeah, he just totally lost it. And so now we've got Alonso in 2nd place, and so I just predicted the podium finish. Now the podium I don't think is going to change. But certainly Sergio Perez, and we're going to see a replay here. So what happened? He just went into the corner too hot. He just too fast, so he spins around. He saves the car, so that's good, but spins around. Alonso goes by as he spins around, and they're showing it there, right there. Whoa! He did touch the Heineken barrier, but no damage to the car. So off they go again, and we've got somebody else that's missed it as well, and we got a virtual safety car, and so they're going to full wets. Sergio Perez is going to full wets now, so that's interesting. Joe Granu has, I guess he's saying I'm okay. So Joe Granu is totally missed it. Has had a wreck somewhere. They're not showing it yet, but he came. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he is into the wall. And so that, I think, folks, with rain and everything else, that is going to bring out. They're going to red flag this race as we watch Verstappen come in. No, it's Perez. That's interesting. So now Perez is all the way down in 6th position. So, folks, if it was to end right now, we've got Verstappen on wet, and he's stopped. So they have red flagged it. Lap 64, and folks, this race has been red flagged. And looking at the condition, If this, remember in the Formula One rules, they got to get this race inside 2 hours. So it's going to be interesting to see how long this red flag condition is going to last. But assuming that it is going to end like this, it would be Verstappen, Alonso, and Gasly in that order. As all of the drivers now come in, we're going to see them start getting out of their cars here, I think, in a moment. So that is going to, yeah. We're in, folks. We are in a red flag condition. It's been a weird morning for the Formula One News Hour. So let's take a moment and thank our sponsors while we've got this chance. We want to thank, of course, our newest sponsor, Store One. Guys, when you need storage for your NFS, for your container or your block storage, I suggest you go to Store One, whether it's a few terabytes or a few petabytes that you have. Of course, the more petabytes that you have, the more efficient it becomes. But they have a single pricing structure, which is really nice. So you can figure out how much it's going to cost you and not worry about whether or not you're utilizing the container or the block storage, which always tends to be more than the NFS storage. But anyway, please give our newest sponsor, Store One, a big thank you for sponsoring the Formula One News Hour, as we've just watched another car leave the track. That's 2 cars now. Whoa, that was a nasty one. They're doing replays. Sorry, let's go back to our thanking our sponsors, Store One. Thank you very much. That is store1.com. And then, of course, our faithful sponsors who have been with us this entire year. As I mentioned earlier, we're on our coming up on our 1-year anniversary. In fact, I think it was right at the beginning of the spring break, so we're about 13 months now. But as we watch all of the cars leaving the track, so we want to thank Thenology, a small data center in Austin, Texas, providing us both, providing the world with public cloud, private cloud, and co-location services for those folks that want to store their servers in a data center. So please go to Thenology.com. That is Thenology.com. And then, of course, our friends at Give, Send, Go. Folks, you can't always figure out what's going to happen to you, or whether your choices are good or bad when bad things happen to you. But you can make a good choice when you need money to help you out of a bad situation. You can go to GiveSendGo.com. That is GiveSendGo.com. And also our friends at Moms for Liberty, as we watch a medical car picking up one of the drivers. Moms for Liberty, folks, they've been trying to get all of you parents involved in your children's education for about 1.5 years, 2 years now, since their formation a couple of years ago. They want you involved at the school board, at the school. They want you involved in getting your kids the right education, getting them an education that's going to benefit them when they grow into adults. So please go to momsforliberty.org. Join one of their chapters. They've got nearly 200 chapters out there. Join a momsforliberty.org chapter. And we really want you to get involved. They want you to get involved in your kids' education and what gets taught to them. So that's momsforliberty.org. And folks, this is going to be a long stop. This might be the end of the race. As I mentioned earlier, we're watching the end of a recording. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to fast forward to see if the race starts again, or if it is in fact red flagged. Okay, folks, good news. So it's lap 65, and they are about to restart the race. So we've got 7 laps to go. It's going to be a rolling start, and they're just getting the cars in order for what that rolling start will be. So what will happen is they'll do 1 lap under the safety car, and then after that, the safety car will pull into the pits, and then we will have roughly 6 laps of racing. So we see the safety car out there. We've got Max Verstappen in position 1. That looks like Fernando Alonso in position 2. Let's see as the cars go by. I think that's going to be Sergio Perez. Is it? Let's see. The cameras are not doing a good job of showing us all the cars, and I don't see a running order up there. But it looks like that might be the Red Bull car in the 3rd position there. A lot of water on the track, but it is not raining. In fact, that is Sergio Perez they're showing in the 3rd position. So, yeah, there we go. That's Perez. So Perez got himself back on the podium, so he never really lost it, right? If you remember right before, he spun out and then he came back in, got all wet. So I would imagine that he's still got those all wet tires on. But really, the conditions right now are right for, and it looks like actually Max Verstappen also has wet tires on instead of the intermediate wets. But the rain has stopped. The track is, of course, very wet. We're coming up to the end of the first lap. It's interesting seeing the amount of water that the safety car spits out from those tires, and the amount of water coming out of these Formula One cars. So the top 5 right now is Verstappen, Alonso, Perez, Gasly, and Sainz. Lewis Hamilton's made his way up to 6th. Lando Norris has dropped down to 7th. George Russell has dropped down to 8th. Alex Albon has dropped down to 9th. Piastri is down to 10th. At the bottom end, of course, Leclerc, Sargent, Joe Granu are out. Let's see if they show. I don't think anybody, although I thought I saw the car of Nicky Tsunoda leave the track. Maybe he saved it. I know George Russell left the track, but he saved it. Went into the safety track part there. So anyway, let's see. The safety car is going to be coming in here any moment, and we're voting for the driver of the day. The vote closes in 5 laps, and there's only 6 laps left of the race. But so far, we've got Alonso number 1, Albon number 2, and Verstappen number 3. My money would go on Alonso. He's done a really good job of really keeping his head through all of the different things that have gone on today. And for me as well, I got to give myself a little pat on the back. The feed coming out of ESPN this morning has just been disastrous. Either that or it's my internet here at the house. I don't know, but I do know that at the very start, I was up at I watched the prelims, and that's how I know that the race start with Martin Brundle not there was kind of interesting, but I couldn't get it. I couldn't get the race to come at all. I was watching on the Spanish channel, which makes me think it was ESPN and not my internet. But anyway, we're going to rely on our great and good producer, technical guru, Andre Kuhn, to make it all a seamless podcast for you. Unfortunately, we had to end the live stream early because we didn't know how long the race was going to be red flagged for, as the cars bunch up here getting ready for a rolling start, and Max Verstappen is coming around turn 14 onto the straightaway, and he is going to. That's a beautiful long sweeping turn as he gathers speed down the straightaway, and he is being chased vigorously by Alonso. Alonso will not catch him, but he will give it a good try. I mean, he's within 1 to 2 car lengths, less than that, maybe 1 car length there of catching Max. But he's got. They won't use DRS because of the wet, but if he did have DRS, he would be giving Max a run for his money. So Perez has got a 2-second lead on Gasly, so now 3 seconds. So I think we can safely call unless somebody crashes. We can call the podium Verstappen, Alonso, and Perez. So another really good finish for Red Bull, and another good finish for Perez, really, even though he had that mishap, because he did not have a good qualifying. As we mentioned, he started 1.1 seconds behind his teammate. So he does seem to... Perez, I guess, had an altercation with somebody that's saying something's under investigation. But anyway, we're now on going through lap 68. Why? I guess that this is not a very fast pace we're under right now. I wish they'd give the speedometer, but Alonso's only not even half a second behind Perez. Oh, Perez just lost his. Let's see, did he? 5 seconds. Perez has got to make up another second and a half in the next 2 or 3 laps, or he's going to lose his podium to Gasly. He's just been hit with a 5-second penalty for something. I guess I missed it altogether, but he's been hit with a 5-second penalty. He's got a 4-second lead on Gasly right now. So, and Russell's saying, I'm out. What's he talking about? Well, he's coming in the pits. That's interesting. What has happened with George Russell? He's retiring his car. Wow, that's really interesting. Sorry about that. Didn't look like anything was wrong, but George Russell has pulled out. He's in the pits and retiring his car. So that really didn't affect the running order in the top 10 that much. It moved Alex Albon up 1 place. But that was about it. And if they do bring back, which I don't think that they're going to, I don't think they're going to bring back DRS with just 3-4 laps to go, because so now Sergio Perez is saying a 5-second gap to Hamilton, but Perez. Gasly, he's not pulling away from Gasly, and so we're going to and they're saying that the reason that Russell pulled out, I guess he got into an altercation with Lando Norris. We're going to see a replay right here. What happened? Norris went wide on that turn. And now you could blame the weather, but he pushed. Well, now you're seeing Russell actually. Well, Russell pushed Norris off the track. Okay, so I would say that's racing. But anyway, we've got 3 laps to go, and Perez is not going to be on the podium. It will be right now. Unless something drastic changes, it's going to be Pierre Gasly. But Pierre Gasly's only got half a second on Lewis Hamilton. No, I'm sorry. He's got half a second on Carlos Sainz. So I don't think Lewis Hamilton in 3 laps is going to get past Carlos Sainz and get past Gasly, who's got a 2-second gap between him and Perez, and Sainz has got half a second. So let's see, Gasly's 2, Carlos Sainz half. So we're seeing a real battle really for 4th and 5th position, because I don't think that either one of them can catch Gasly. But you never know. We've still got 2 laps to go, and they're doing some really nice racing in some very wet conditions, so that makes it all very interesting. Alonso now has dropped back 1.5 seconds behind Verstappen, and Perez, of course, is half a second behind Alonso. But Perez has lost his podium. He's not going. He's got 3 right at 3 seconds, and he got 2 laps. He's got 2 laps. He's got to get 2 seconds, and that's not going to happen in these conditions. So Perez will drop back to 4th. Actually, he may drop back to 5th behind Carlos Sainz, but ahead of Lewis Hamilton. So Lewis Hamilton, and Lewis Hamilton just trying to get past Carlos Sainz there. Took a look for a minute and then changed his mind, because really the grip is just not there in these wet conditions. So If he does get past Carlos Sainz, that's going to be kind of a miracle. And as we watch here, Sergio Perez coming up on Alonso, and so Alonso really is going to hold him up. And so he's not going to be on the podium at the end of the day, as we watch the battle between Hamilton and Carlos Sainz continue. It's going to be, let's see, 2-4. Perez is going to end up in 5th position, just ahead of Lewis Hamilton. For whatever happened, whatever altercation he had, is going to make it a bad finish for what otherwise was a really good drive day for Sergio Perez. But anyway, it's not going to happen, and Lewis Hamilton is not going to get past Carlos Sainz here in the last lap. There's just not enough grip to take him on the turns, and he doesn't have a faster car on the straightaway. So Carlos Sainz has got a slightly faster car in the straightaway, but Lewis doesn't have the grip in the corners to kind of push it in the corners as much as he'd like to as they come down the straightaway for the last time, as they go onto the lap 72. I would say whoa. That was close. I don't know why, and it's pointless, Lewis. I don't know why I'm talking to him. Lewis is doing his best to get past him, but I just don't think that there's enough grip out there in the corners, which is the only place that he would stand a chance of getting past him. There's just not enough grip on the track in the corners for Lewis to get past him, and Perez will drop to 5th position from his current 5th. But the only good news for him at the end here is that he will stay ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who by the way is being challenged by Lando Norris. But Lando Norris is like Lewis Hamilton. He's not going to get past Hamilton because Hamilton's not going to get past Carlos Sainz, as Max Verstappen is going to win with a comfortable 4-second lead here as he comes down into turn 14 for the last time and takes the checkered flag. So we've got Lewis Hamilton followed by Alonso, followed by Sergio Perez, but Pierre Gasly is going to be on the podium because Perez is going to take that, and they just changed the positions now. So the top 3 positions is Verstappen, Alonso, Gasly. Perez, he managed to maintain 4th place, and Sainz got 5th. Hamilton stayed in 6th. And then Norris 7th, Alex Albon in 8th, and Piastri in 9th. So not a great day for the folks at McLaren. A good day for Aston Martin. Lance Stroll came in on 11th, but Alonso up there in 2nd place. That just might put him past Perez in the World Championship point standings. I don't know. But anyway, folks, that brings to an end our podcast of the Formula One from Zandvoort in Holland. It's been a very interesting race. It's been a very interesting podcast with all kinds of stuff going wrong and having to finish the live stream early. And ESPN, I'm sure it's ESPN and not my internet, just totally wacko. But anyway, we want to thank our sponsors one more time. Store One at store1.com. Phenology at phenology.com. Give Send Go at givesendgo.com. And of course, Moms for Liberty at momsforliberty.com. And we cannot end the day without thanking our great producer, all things technical guru, Andre Kuhn, who has his work cut out for him, getting this podcast out there for it to make sense to you all, because some parts of the race are in different parts of the podcast because of having to go back into the replay. Thankfully, I was making replays. And even the replays that ESPN were putting out were just just amazingly bad. For a bad day for ESPN, a good day for Red Bull. And we will see you next week from Monza, Italy, folks. And when you have a great rest of your week. And this is Jonathan Steele for the Formula One News Hour saying thank you and have a great week.